Hello, my name is Dylan Steven. I'm the CEO of 118 Group Web Design. Today, I want to quickly run you through an overview of a tool called HotJar, which we've used on our own website and we've used on client websites in the past. That's a great tool for turning user actions into visualizations so that your team and we can better understand how users are interacting with your site. So this is the tool. It's called HotJar. Basically, they claim that their big thing is to understand how users behave on your site, what they need, and how they feel fast. And the big ways they do that are through heat maps, recordings, feedback widgets, and feedback survey widgets. So this is the site. I want to show you what it looks like from an account perspective. We have one here. So this is for 118group.com. You have your dashboard, which gives you some metrics and some ideas in regards to how people are using the site. It's pretty useful to understand, some high level metrics on usage, pages per session, bounce rate, average session duration. But what's really great is this recordings tab. So this recordings tab, basically by installing a little script on the site and definitely updating your privacy policy, we're able to review specific user sessions. For example, this user from the United States who landed on 118 Group web design development, who spent, this specific user, we can watch their session, what it looks like. So for example, this is the user's mouse. This is their, some of their location information. This is us getting a better understanding of how people are interacting with our website. We can see if they're clicking on elements that aren't actually clickable. Is that a confusing design element? Do they keep circling back and forth and facing the same issues? Or getting kind of stuck in a circular loop? We can kind of start to understand more about the UX by watching these users. And depending on the plan you select, you have access to a certain number of these recordings. And you can see they're pretty robust. You can see where people are coming from, and then you can watch their individual sessions. So these guys came from Instagram. That you might be curious as to how your Instagram users behave with your site differently than any of your direct traffic users or your LinkedIn users. So, and again, you can kind of watch, you can see their interactions, how they engage with the site. All very cool. So that's the recording feature. The other really cool feature is the heat map feature. So essentially it takes user behavior and visualizes into a heat map. So for example, if we did the homepage of 118 Group Web Design, here we can see, based on user behavior, how people are interacting with the site. So we're seeing that most of our clients, or most of the visitors to our site, are clicking on the portfolio page or the services page. 10 clicks, that's a very high percentage. We can see that people are clicking these titles pretty frequently, and then these buttons a little bit less. We can see which projects they were most interested in viewing overall, which locations you see. So, and they have these heat maps for several different pages. So for example, if we want to see which projects made our users most interested in learning more, we can go to our portfolio page and check out the heat map from HotJar. It might take a second for them to put it together, but here we are. We can see which projects got the most clicks from users, the most engagement, which ones didn't. Very useful for getting a sense of what users are doing on the site. The other interesting thing is you can kind of customize how the heat map is presented. So you can essentially decide if you want to do kind of more of a scrolling heat map, which pages you want to do for the heat map. You can decide, so if we move my little widget over here, you can see, for example, there's a scroll option for the heat map. And this basically shows you what percentage of your users reached different sections of the site. So, all the way from like our first, screen, almost 100% of our users saw this. And then it obviously drops off naturally, 80%, 60%, 50%, 47%. We can start to see, if we have really important content that no one's seeing, we can start to understand how to reorganize the site based on how far down most of our users are going. So you have a couple different visualizations you can do, in terms of movement, dragging the mouse across the menu, down the page, all over these kind of clickable sections. So really cool tool. They also give you the option to set up these little feedback widgets if you want to get user feedback from people visiting the site. You can create a widget, install it on your site, and it'll start to capture, it'll prompt people to engage with it, like something that looks like this. You see here, if you start to want to get kind of feedback results from clients, and you can also do surveys in the same way. So HotJar, really good tool. Our team has experience installing it. The only thing you want to think about is, we'd want to update a private, we'd want to institute more of an update to the privacy policy, because obviously, you are tracking, you're using cookies, you're tracking some, not any sort of personal data, but still some user data. So really great tool if you want to, like, as a business owner or as a decision maker, you want to start to actually visualize how people use your site to better understand people and how they're engaging with you. Really great tool. Feel free to reach out to us if you have questions or if you're interested in getting it installed. Thank you.